It was supposed to be just another routine training flight, but in the blink of an eye, the mission turned into a nightmare. A legendary B-52 Stratofortress, the mighty titan of the skies, was now crippled, 2 engines dead, controls failing, and a major US city straight ahead. The pilots had seconds to decide, fight for survival or risk an unspeakable catastrophe. What happened next? No one, not even the most seasoned airman, could have seen coming. The morning sun painted the sky in soft strokes of gold and rose, casting its light over a world blissfully unaware of the chaos brewing miles above. Inside the belly of a B-52, a team of elite airmen went through the motions of a mission like any other. The hum of the engines was a familiar lullaby, the kind of sound that lulls you into a false sense of security. But flying a machine like the B-52 isn't just about skill. It's about trust, instinct, and a bond stronger than steel. Leading the crew was Captain Eva Rostova, a woman whose nerves were as unshakable as the aircraft itself. She had earned her stripes in some of the most hostile skies imaginable, and her reputation for cool-headed decision-making was legendary. By her side sat Jake "Joker" Riley, her co-pilot, a man whose quick wit and sharp humor masked a razor-sharp intuition. Behind them, Maria "Doc" Hernandez, the navigator, whose mind worked faster than any onboard system, calculating trajectories and fuel consumption with the precision of a supercomputer. And at the rear, Sergeant Marcus "Mac" Thompson, the flight engineer, the silent guardian of the aircraft, attuned to every vibration, hum, and anomaly that the massive machine produced. They had flown countless missions together, each one a testament to their skill and teamwork. But this one would test everything they knew. Then, in an instant, the sky turned hostile. Boom! A violent shudder tore through the aircraft. Warning lights exploded in a frenzy of red, flashing like sirens in the dark. The crew was thrown forward against their harnesses, the force of the explosion rattling their bones. Engine number 3 had failed. Silence followed, an eerie, gut-wrenching silence. Then, Mac's voice crackled over the intercom. "Engine 3 is down. We've lost power." Eva's mind went into overdrive. "Joker, feather the prop. Doc, recalibrate our trajectory." They could handle this. The B-52 was built to withstand punishment. It was a fortress in the sky, designed to keep flying even when crippled. But just as they regained control, another shockwave. Engine 2 was gone. Now the aircraft was bleeding power. It was slowing, dipping, fighting against the invisible hands of gravity pulling it down. The remaining engines groaned under the strain, their whine growing louder as they struggled to keep the massive plane aloft. Then came the worst revelation of all. We're heading straight for Denver. One of the largest cities in America now lay in their path. 1 million people. A catastrophe in the making. The cockpit was thick with tension. Their hydraulic system failing. Their control slipping. Their time running out. In that moment, they had 2 choices. 1, try to limp the aircraft back to base, risking complete failure over the city. If they lost control now, the B-52, a 185,000-pound behemoth, could plow into the heart of Denver, unleashing unimaginable destruction. 2, divert and attempt an emergency landing in open terrain, but with no guarantee they'd make it. The odds were slim, and the consequences of failure were just as dire. This was life or death, not just for them, for thousands below. Eva made the call. "We steer clear of the city, no matter what." She grabbed the radio. "Mayday, mayday. This is Bravo 5-2. We're going down. We're steering clear of Denver. We'll try for open ground. Godspeed." A field, 12 miles away. Their only chance. The B-52 was no longer a war machine. It was a wounded beast, struggling against the sky. Every second was a fight. Every move a gamble. Mac rerouted power to the backup hydraulics, his hands moving with the precision of a surgeon. Doc locked in the coordinates, her voice steady as she guided them toward the field. Joker and Eva worked in perfect sync, their movements almost instinctual as they guided the plane toward salvation. But gravity was merciless. The ground was coming fast. Eva's grip tightened on the controls. "Hold together, baby. Just a little longer." The field loomed ahead, a patch of green amidst the chaos. The B-52 descended rapidly, its massive frame shuddering as it fought to stay airborne. The crew braced themselves, their training kicking in as they prepared for the inevitable. And then, impact. The plane slammed into the earth with a deafening roar. Metal screamed as the B-52 skidded across the field, tearing through the ground in a fiery ballet of sparks and steel. The force of the crash threw the crew against their harnesses, the world spinning in a blur of noise and motion. Then, silence. Denver was safe. The mission was over. But the crew? They were trapped inside the wreckage. When rescue teams arrived, they found them huddled together, bruised, battered, but alive. The B-52, the iron giant that had carried them through hell, had given everything, and so had they. The crew's actions that day would never make headlines. Their names wouldn't be etched into history books. But their sacrifice? Their courage? That would echo far beyond the quiet field where their B-52 came to rest. Heroism isn't about the size of the machine, it's about the hearts of those who fly them. The B-52 Stratofortress has seen war, peace, and history itself unfold beneath its wings. For decades, it has been a symbol of American air power, a testament to engineering and human ingenuity. But more than a machine, it's a symbol of resilience, of power, and of the pilots who dare to push it beyond its limits. Next time you hear the distant roar of a B-52 soaring through the sky, take a moment to remember the sacrifices of those who fly it. Remember the courage it takes to climb into the cockpit, knowing that every mission could be your last. Remember the bond between crew members, forged in the fires of adversity and tempered by the weight of responsibility. Because freedom is never free. This story is a reminder of the unsung heroes who risk everything to keep us safe. It's a tribute to the men and women who strap themselves into these machines, knowing that every flight could be their last. Their courage, their sacrifice, and their unwavering commitment to duty deserve to be remembered. If this story moved you, like, share, and subscribe. Let's keep these stories of courage alive. Because behind every machine, there's a human story. A story of bravery, resilience, and the unbreakable spirit of those who serve. Fly high, stay brave, and never forget.